Now, in comparison to last episode, this is a huge change, we'll discuss it later, but there has been an Apple event a few weeks ago, well, actually a month ago, but loads of you are still unaware on what happened and what went down during the Apple event. So on this episode of the AKAJK show, and we are back, baby, I'm going to be discussing that. Hey, it's AKAJK, welcome back to another episode of the AKAJK show, the daily tech show that happens pretty much every single weekday. It has been stopped for several weeks because there was no Wi-Fi, nothing happened. During that time period since yesterday's episode and today's episode, that was a month in between. A month. We got a new house, we're in, I built an entire setup, cable management looks flipping legit. I shot a lot of vlogs, just deleted all the vlogs because I thought they were trash, and I'm back here. Gonna do a full setup tour, and I don't know, as soon as possible, but I don't know. Anyways, in this episode, I'm going to be discussing, as I did state, everything that Apple announced in the 2018 October event. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing, before I start, I don't have the microphone sort of set up yet. There is no cable. We've got a legit stand and everything, but the cable, haven't found. I've been looking for it for ages, couldn't find it. So I resorted to the using the earphones method just for these next few episodes. Anyways, the first thing is the iPad Pro. Apple announced pretty much the best tablet on the planet. Like, the moment I saw the leaks, I knew this was going to be legit. When I saw the real deal, I knew that this was something amazing. Like, literally had everything you could want with an iPad. My initial thoughts were it was like pretty much an enlarged iPhone 10, and then without the notch. Yep, no notch. But this is actually supposed to be like a kind of MacBook killer, or a laptop killer, you know what I mean? Sort of a tablet for professionals. It was sort of targeted at creators and musicians and all that kind of jazz. Loads of features for those kind of guys, tons of high-end specs, which is really amazing. This is essentially a sheet of paper, super thin, pretty much no bezels, which is real great. The issue with this sort of design is the fact that the camera does stick out a bit, which ruins the sheet of paper sort of design that we really wanted. That was disappointing. I'm disappointed in Apple on that part. It does come in several colors. Well, actually just two, grey and silver. That is not good. I was really hoping to get many more colors. That is very, 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 very disappointing in terms of colors. Like, what happened to the gold, the rose gold, all that kind of jazz? All poof, gone. That is not good. Anyway, silver space gray, I'd probably go the space gray. Comes in two sizes, an 11-inch, which seems to be a new one, a new sort of form factor, and then there's a 12.9-inch. The 11-inch is actually the same size as 10.5-inch, but in terms of actual size, but the display is just bigger, no bezels, and some borders. Say goodbye to the lightning port, goodbye to the audio jack, and incoming, just a USB-C port. I know. Now, if you want to learn all the specs, all the rest of the information, I'll have a dedicated episode on each of the three products that I'm talking about in this episode. Next up, there is the MacBook Air. Now, this one was very exciting because we haven't seen an update to the MacBook Air in like many, many years in terms of design. They kind of do spec updates every 1 or 2 years, obviously to keep it in line with what's going on in terms of specifications, but design has stayed the same for ages. Now, you have an updated MacBook Air with a bunch of different colors, pretty much a bezel-less design, super, super thin. Comes with a space gray, a gold and a silver. I would definitely go with the gold. Looks real legit to me, so just IMO. The Air now has Touch ID like the 2016, 2017, and 2018 MacBook Pros, which is real great. And I'm pretty sure they have reduced the price on the older MacBook Air, so you can go and cop it at a cheaper price right now. But this just seems so much better. In terms of all specifications, that'll be in a separate episode. This does come with just Thunderbolt, ports, USB-C. Now the MacBook Air is a pretty hefty update on the old one, and it looks pretty good, so you can wait out for my full sort of everything about it. I don't know, day after tomorrow, I think. So yeah, stay tuned on that one. Make sure to subscribe, like, and turn notifications so you're ready for that episode. Now the third and final product is the Mac Mini. That little box with a huge amount of power, and it has a Mac that you can use on the side. Yeah, that one got updated. I know it wasn't that trash can Mac Pro, but Still great. The Mac Mini hasn't seen an update in many, many years. And I really like the Mac Mini sort of as a device. So hint, you want a Mac? The Mac Mini is the cheapest way to get it now. If you don't have a monitor, then maybe getting a MacBook Pro would be the cheaper way to sort of have a full setup, but you know what I mean. If you're going to go with a monitor setup anyway, then the Mac Mini is probably your best bet, unless you're going portable hardcore like me, or I want to be able to take my laptop anywhere and edit wherever the hell I go. But that's just kind of for me and, if you select other people. You've got to think about your needs. The Mac Mini is a small box. You keep it sort of in a solitary place. But the benefits are the fact that it is a small box means you can take it around to different countries when you want to move around. Obviously only if you have a monitor in that area. If you don't, then you're screwed. I mean, you could use a TV and bring a sort of mouse and keyboard, but it does become a hassle. But if you really want to do that, there's that Logitech 2-in-1 kind of keyboard and trackpad. It's a good option for that. Anyways, I've delved too much on that side. In terms of what this kind of looks like, the small box, it comes in one space for a color. It's got some good I/O, which I'll discuss fully in the following episode. Specs really good on this tiny computer. You can max out at 6 cores i7 and turbo boost up to 4.6 GHz, so it's pretty powerful. No i9 on this one, which is kind of disappointing. I was hoping there'd be an i9 option, but no. Now, personally, I wouldn't get this just because I use the MacBook Pro setup for portability, but obviously you judge your needs and decide if you want to get this or not. It is a pretty great device, and you can learn more about it in the next couple of days when I do make my dedicated episodes on each of the devices. So before I do end, I'd just like to shout out my social media accounts, at AKAJK everywhere, my daily podcast, the AKAJK Audio Show, which probably went back to daily from yesterday, and they're going to continue onwards on the daily streak. Aside from that, I should see you tonight, 6 p.m. for my daily vlog series, The Daily Grind, and then obviously 6 a.m. for every JK Tech Show episode. That's about it for me for this episode. Hopefully I'll see you again, because here at AKAJK, the grind is daily.